Hello and welcome to Three Questions with my friend Alysa Southall with us. Good afternoon, Alysa. How you doing?
Doing well, Kevin. Thank you for having me.
So, Alysa, today I asked you to come on to talk about mentorship because to me, nobody can reach the outer limit of success without a good mentor. I know in my life, I've had those people come in who just kind of put that proverbial arm around your shoulder, go, let me explain this to you. That's essential, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I have not only seen it firsthand, I've written articles about it, I've talked to people in the mentoring space, and there are legitimate benefits to being a mentor. Retention, engagement, career growth, job satisfaction, inclusion, belonging, culture, all of those things are positive results of mentorship programs. And mentorship programs aren't what they used to be, where it's like, we're going to pair the C-suite level person with an entry level person, right? They're how do we do peer-to-peer mentoring? How do we do reverse mentoring, right? Because there's a lot to be learned regardless of the mentorship relationship that you're in, for not only the company but for the mentor and the mentee. Those partnerships work really well together, and so there's extreme benefit in having an effective mentorship program.
But I like that you mentioned the benefits for the mentors because sometimes you forget about that. You know, I'm part of a first generation program at the university where they match me with a first generation student. And it's amazing to watch their journey. And, you know, there's times when I tease them and going, you forget I'm the mentor. Now I'm actually the mentee because they're teaching me like things from their point of view. And that makes me a better professor when I can see things through my students' eyes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it helps them grow. So if you're a mentor in an organization, right, you're also getting leadership skills in the meantime. But beyond that, like you were talking about, right? I mean, I was part of an organization that did successful apprenticeship programs, and every apprentice had to have a mentor. And I honestly heard so much positive feedback from the mentors about how much they got out of it. At first, it was like, oh, this is going to take us so much time and so much effort. And then they were like, I have to meet with my mentor this week. Like they were so, I have to meet with my apprentice this week. Like they were so excited to do that because they were like, we learn about the company in a different way. We learn about their perspective of our culture. We learn about a new being in their life, right? And so it's just really unique when you have that opportunity to say, wow, like both sides really get something out of this. That doesn't happen all the time in an organization where both individuals really get value.
I had a student out on an internship, and she was telling me at their company, they have coffee meetings where they randomly assign people just to have a 15-minute virtual coffee. And she's like, that was my favorite part because like I don't know about different parts of the company. So, you know, the other day I was on with the CFO, and at first I was like, oh my God, it's a CFO. But it's like he was just a really great guy. And now I understand the role of a CFO. She's like, it was my favorite part of the internship. And I was like, wow, that's powerful that that is your favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
Simple things.
Very simple. And, that's where I said that having that traditional sort of C-suite to entry level isn't the way to go anymore. It's more about like, if you have somebody who is on an assembly line or in banking, right? Maybe they're the teller. Rather than adding, partnering them with the C-suite, why don't we partner with them with somebody in sales or somebody on the contract side, right? Who then they can learn how their impact on the business leads to the next part of the process, right? Because then we're creating more knowledgeable, well-rounded individuals.
That's huge and stuff because I found that was always a problem if you don't understand how your job impacts the next job. Like being in accounting, someone uses a wrong general ledger and they're like, why are you guys making such a big deal of this? Well, at the end of the day, we have to balance it. Now, sometimes, Lisa, it's pretty easy. One's off 50 one way, one's off 50 the other way. We know where it is and stuff. But when there's multiple mistakes, sometimes it can be a little more challenging. So once we took the time to explain that, like, okay, now I get it and stuff. Now I'll be more careful. They just didn't know how it was impacting other people.
Absolutely. And so it's really creating individuals that help understand each other. And to your point, right, and how the business runs. But to your point, going back to that mentor who is providing that support to their mentee, right? Or the mentee that's providing the support to the mentor, right? That mentee might also learn something about the part of the business that they didn't know that could then help them do their job better.
But here's the problem. You already told me what the problem is. A lot of people, when we talk about mentorships, like, no, because they think of, okay, I'm the CFO, I have to talk to the person who's been there 2 days, and neither one of them benefits from it. So how do we establish a mentor program that's going to bring true value to people? That's the question.
So you have to do an assessment first of what are you trying to get out of the mentorship program, right? What is the goal of the people that you're trying to mentor? Where are you trying to get them, and why are you doing this? I work with, Jody at Mentor Strat, who does a lot of that. And then it's also, once you do that sort of needs analysis of like why and why, why we're doing it and how we're going to do it, it's really understanding that yes, there's money involved, but the return on investment is so far beyond what you could imagine that it's a no-brainer, right? And I guarantee you, after that first or second meeting, both of those individuals are going to want to come to each and every one of those meetings. But it's also creating consistency and creating communication around, okay, everybody has, all of the mentors and the mentees have guideposts and check marks that they're meeting and they're keeping in touch, and here's what they're all working toward, and making it measurable so that everybody knows what the results are that they're getting out of it. So I think first it's that needs, assessment, and then determining mentors based on one, interest, and two, who you feel are going to be the right people. And people like Jody at Mentor Strat can certainly help, further those conversations.
So if people have questions about this, what's the best way to reach out to you? How can they learn more?
So they can reach out to me on A People Partner LLC. All my contact information is there, phone number, email, you name it. And I can also help them, have these conversations with their mentors and their mentees and help them understand how this program is not only beneficial, but help them in terms of, where do we even start, or how do we have a mentorship program, but how do we select stronger mentors or get more out of it? Those are ways that I can help them.
Makes sense, my friend. As always, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes to call in the show, and thanks for being my friend.
Thank you.